Hello, I'm Loren and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about our personal vision statement and how it applies to our life. If you haven't already seen my first video about what a personal vision statement is and how to create it, then I suggest you put a pause on this video and go check out that one. That way you can create your own personal vision statement and come right back to this video and continue on with the rest of us. For those of you who have already seen it, let's go ahead and just jump into how we're supposed to use our personal vision statement and why it matters in our life. Everybody's personal vision statement, as I've stated before, is different. So as we know from the previous video, my personal vision statement is to use my creativity and communication skills to inspire and motivate others to love God, themselves, and each other. So, as I've stated, our personal vision statement is really important because it's what we should center our activities around. It's how we should prioritize certain activities over others. The things that are going along with our personal vision statement are the things that we should be focusing our time towards because it's eventually going to help us get to our goal. The things that we are distracted by, we need to step away from. And so trying to figure out which activities are which can sometimes be very difficult. One way that some people like to go about it is by looking at the 4-square method. As you can see, the first quadrant has your urgent and your important tasks. These are tasks that you need to do and you need to do within a certain time frame. The second quadrant is not urgent but still important tasks. These are tasks you have that are still important but maybe not as urgent. So for example, if you're in school and you have an essay that's due in 3 weeks, this would fall into this category because it's not urgent but it's still 40% of your grade, let's say. And so then we have quadrant 3, which is urgent but not important. This category holds things like busy work and things that you need to do but aren't necessarily important to your goals in life. And then you have the 4th quadrant, which is the distracting quadrant. This includes anything that distracts you from your goals. This could be sitting down and watching TV, taking a nap, or playing video games. Anything like this really doesn't benefit you in the long run. It might be good in the meantime for you to relax, but it's a good idea to keep an eye on how much time you're spending in each quadrant. And if you're spending too much time in this 4th quadrant, it's probably not helping your productivity level. With this in mind, we can now look at the activities that have to do with our goals. So our goals are most likely to be centered around our personal vision statement. Our personal vision statement is an overall idea of what we would like our life to be like. So like I said, I want to help others and motivate them to love God, themselves, and others. So I try to spend my time doing things that I know will be able to help me spread the word. For example, I have started this YouTube channel and my blog, which you can check out in the description box link. My point is that doing these things are helping me get to the place that I want to be and achieve my goals. So it's a good idea to start asking yourselves, what are the activities that I'm doing? How do they pertain to my goals? What are my goals? How can I achieve them? And what do I need to spend more time doing? It's good to point out the negative things that you're doing and note how you need to make less time, but you also need to make sure you're giving yourself credit for all the good things that you're doing. You want to keep a positive mindset, and when you look at the good things that you're doing and you continue to implement them, psychologically you're showing yourself that you're not all bad. So it's good to make sure you have a balance of both things. And I'm not saying to completely get rid of everything in the 4th quadrant. Obviously, every once in a while it feels good to sit down and watch 30 minutes of television, but it's a good idea to make sure that you minimize this quadrant as much as possible. So now that I've talked about the quadrant that you want to minimize as much as possible, I want to talk to you a little bit about the quadrant that you should maximize as much as possible. You're probably thinking, oh, this is definitely quadrant 1. Let's keep everything in quadrant 1 because it's the urgent and the important things. Well, no, don't do that. If you do that, you're most likely going to be constantly stressed. This is a time where everything begins to pile up. You have essays due, you have things you have to turn in tomorrow, you got work the next day. All of these things can be stressors for you if you don't handle them properly. That is why you actually want to spend the most time in quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 is what I like to call the planning ahead quadrant, because this is where you know you have important tasks coming up in the future, but you plan for them because they're not urgent. Like I mentioned earlier, let's say you have an essay that's 40% of your grade. And let's say it's not due for another 3 weeks. Well, you still don't want to spend all night the night before writing your essay and then turning it in. No, it's better to plan maybe 30 minutes a day or however much time you want to allocate until you have a good draft going. And then obviously you can work on it a little more one day and a little less another day, but after a while it'll be easier because by the time it's due, most likely you'll already have it done, and by then you can go ahead and ask your teacher, hey, I already have this done, it's a little bit early, would you mind looking over it? And the odds of you getting a better grade and being more successful are much higher. Not only will this help your grade, but it will also help your stress levels. It's really bad for your body to be in a lot of stress. This can cause sickness, emotional outbreaks, and just overall feelings that you don't want to have in your life. This is a new year coming up, and we want to start it off with positivity. Eliminating stress is a great way to do that. So I hope this 4-square method really shows you how important it is that your time aligns with your personal vision statement. These things will help you achieve your goals. And in the next video, we'll be talking about goals and how to follow through with them until they're complete. With all of that said, thank you for watching, and love, Loren!